Today I'm going to take plain LEGO minifigures and transform them into accurate Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 minifigures. And along the way, I will build a room for every single one of them. And the first character we'll make is Huggy Wuggy. But Huggy Wuggy is much taller than 4 bricks, so for the legs, I'm using these extra long Avatar Navi legs. Now the minifigure is over 5 bricks tall, and because Huggy also has super long noodle arms, I'll use the extra long arms from Jake Sully. As you can see, they are much longer than normal sized arms, and therefore perfect for Huggy. But I think that was the easy part. The head is where it gets wild. In my collection, I have a few minifigures with fur, but none of them match. But I've got you covered. We've got a 3D printer. And whilst the machine is doing its job, we'll get the minifigure ready. Because right now, it looks like a budget version of the genie from Aladdin. And step 1 is to paint the entire minifigure blue. Step 2 is to swap his hands with the yellow ones and paint the yellow feet. But we're not making a basic Huggy, right? Our version will wear bandages from a previous fight with the player. To make the bandages pop more, we'll add black outlines. We can also add dark blue lines that heavily remind of fur. And Huggy is super dangerous. Oh, he also needs a dangerous face. Much better. The final step is to make him even more damaged. I'm using a Dremel to cut away a section of his left arm. I'll also sand away on his head to make him appear extremely battle-worn. And when compared to the reference image, I'd give him a 7 out of 10. For Huggy, I'll build a conveyor belt where he can chase the player. But be aware, if you don't subscribe, he'll capture the player before he can explore each subfloor and we'll never see the final end boss. We might only ever see Kissy Missy. We can use the same pieces as for Huggy, just that this time they are completely pink. Boom! Now we can swap the hands, paint the feet, paint the eyes, and add the iconic red lip. And Kissy could low-key already be finished. But I have to rip off one arm again to make it show accurate. And since it's a plushie, you can see the wool coming out of the arm stump. Plus she's also heavily damaged on her right ear. For her, I'll build a hangar-like room where she can meet Huggy at last. This is not game accurate. So let's quickly move on to the next character. For Giblet, we need to swap the brown torso with an olive green one. Then we'll take brown arms and dark brown hands. And finally, we'll get a 3D printed head. But since this torso is inaccurate, we'll take some nail polisher. And look at this, the print is gone. This means we can start painting the torso. First up, I'll make a rough sketch with a pencil. This makes painting much easier because now I can simply retrace the lines with a black brush stroke. Step 2 is to add all the other colors. Alrighty, the torso is finished, and look at this. We've got patches, a detailed coat, and arm printing. Now it's time to paint the head. First up is the color brown. We have to be really careful to not paint into the other regions, such as the eye or the eye patch. But once this is done, you can paint the remaining sections, such as the white eye, the black nose, or the black eye patch that goes around the entire head. But the hardest part is undoubtedly going to be the iris. I have to paint a literal cross with a black dot in the middle. But we also mastered this task. The final step is to add a lot of stitches and patches all across the head. Because Giblet is a really worn teddy bear. As an accessory, he'll get his walking stick. I used a microphone to create the knob on top. For Giblet, I'll create the recycling area. It features a wooden pallet, a few storage boxes, and a place to hide from the prototype.
Oh boy.
But before we meet him, we have to escape Lily Love Braids. Now look at her body shape. A LEGO Friends minifigure is actually perfect for her, but instead of normal hair, we'll of course use a 3D printed hairpiece. Oh man, it doesn't work because of this stud. Now we can easily attach the hairpiece. The next step is to paint this puppet. First up, we gotta cover the braids in purple. And whilst they are drying, we can paint the minifigure. This means a purple t-shirt. On top, we can add a black skirt. The next step is to paint black socks and purple shoes. The final touch are the stars on her chest and her socks. They are low-key the hardest thing I've painted so far in this video. I mean, just look at how tiny they are. And we of course also can't forget about the white triangles on her skirt. And now, Lily is almost finished. But currently, she looks more like a nerd than a villain. So I'll take her head, rub off the current print and replace it with an extremely unsettling stare. 4, 3, 2, 1... Boom! Lily is finished, and compared to the reference image, we did an amazing job. For her, I'll build a section of the puppet house where she can invite others to join her tea party. She invites Kissy, the player, and a special guest, our final character. And since the prototype reminds me of a spider, I'll attach 6 spiky legs to a cobweb. On top, I'll add the base for further construction. On the back and on the sides, I'm gonna add the fur from Catnap. We also have a spike in the back. On either side, I'll add 2 canisters of poppy gas because the prototype is collecting fragments from each toy. In the front, he also has the arms from Huggy and Kissy, plus the arm from Mummy Longlegs. And finally, we'll add a single plate, plus the upper part from Chestro from Nexonites. Compared to the reference image, the minifigure is not accurate. So instead of Chestro, I'll use a blue torso with red arms and grey hands. I'll use a skeleton head and the head from this Ninjago skeleton. But since it's still inaccurate, I'll take this section and paint it accurately. And step 1 is to rub away the print using nail polisher. This always takes a bit of time, but it works like a dream. Now I can take the pencil and create an outline. And it's time for the paint. I'll once again retrace the pencil strokes with black color. This just makes everything else easier. Next up is the white shirt and the red tie. This part isn't 100% accurate, since it's still a minifigure and not a model. Step 2 is to rip off the first arm and place it on a flick fire missile. This makes painting much easier and I can quickly customize both arms. But before I paint the face, I'll quickly add the third and final floppy point so I can put it into the oven. 1 hour at 70 degrees Celsius. Let's wait. In the meantime, we can create the head. I'll use the backside of a skeleton head. First up, I'll paint 2 gigantic black holes for the eyes. Now, I'll add the super white evil grin. And I gotta say, these teeth are even more difficult than Lily's stars. But I advise you try it, because it's 100% worth it. Now I can get the Chester head and finish the prototype. First up, I'll add a white base layer. This one is necessary because we want a clean yellow section and neat bells. Painting the head has to be the simplest step of designing the entire prototype. And this is one very accurate character. For him, I'll build a train chase scene where the player gets attacked by the prototype in a train. And this finishes the Poppy Playtime skyscraper. And I can't wait to show you my Super Mario characters. So make sure to subscribe. See ya!